Right, what's going on, guys? Clutch here, back again with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. So today's video is going to be a 4-2-2 tactics video. Obviously a really strong formation on FIFA 21. It's been working really well for a lot of people, and it's one that I've really enjoyed personally. So before we get into the video, if you haven't already, drop the video a like if you enjoy it. If you want to have a say in what videos I upload on this channel, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys want to see from me. Also let me know if you enjoy the video or if you use the tactics. Obviously I try and give you guys the most up-to-date tactics I can. So that's why I kind of try and upload them reasonably regularly, so you guys are kept well informed. Yeah, and if you haven't, drop a sub. We're on the way to 3K. You guys are absolutely showing mad support at the moment. It's absolutely crazy. So I really appreciate all of you guys, and turn the notification bell on if you haven't already to know when I upload. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get straight into the 4-2-2. But quickly, if you haven't, but boys, nearly 89% of people. Nearly 89% of people who watch my videos don't subscribe. So come on, boys, all right? Please. I appreciate you guys, all right? Come on. Love me, please. So, what we're going to do, like I said, get straight into the 4-2-2. So this is how I've got my team currently set up using the 4-2-2. It is actually that way. So, yeah. But, so R9, obviously, there. It's an absolutely crazy team. Obviously, the defense could be better, but it works really well for the 4-2-2. And it's a formation, the 4-2-2, that I really, really do enjoy, actually. It's a lot of good fun. Obviously, R9's, look at that goal record. He's absolutely killing it in 4-2-2. He absolutely loves it. What boy. So, like as usual, I will go from ultra attacking all the way down to ultra defensive. The defensive tactic is the one I use, all right, guys? A defensive one. Please remember that, all right? Defensive is the tactic that I start the game with, and I will explain each tactic and why I use them and what I do to make this formation and these tactics work. So, we will start with the ultra attacking. So, constant pressure, obviously, is a very, very strong tactic on this game. It's a tactic that I really enjoy, and I genuinely think is the best way to try and score goals. And obviously, this tactic is purely to score goals. If you're a couple goals down, trying to make a comeback, but you're struggling, these are the tactics that I use. So hopefully you guys enjoy them and it works for you. Like I said, constant pressure is really great. You can press the ball high up the pitch. Obviously, there are cons to it. Your players get drained and they do get dragged out of position. But trust me, with where you're going to win the ball back on the pitch and create opportunities, constant pressure is worth using. If you've watched my streams, I'm a constant pressure user. I don't use press after possession loss in my all-out attack. It's always constant pressure. All right, boys. So the width is 5. Now, as I always say to you guys, the width should never change. Right? You should usually find a width that you're comfortable with using that formation, and then that should be it. Like, putting up the dial because you're trying to go ultra attacking doesn't help no one. Like, all you're doing is making your players further apart and playing even more uncomfortable than you were originally. So please don't just put the dials up for the sake of putting the dials up. I see so many people do it. Literally just leave it on what you're comfortable with. So I won't go over the widths on these formations too much because they always stay the same. Alright, so like I said, 5 width because it's where I find the balance on the defensive side. So 5 width is good for me. The depth is on 7, and that is purely because we're high up the pitch and trying to win the ball back and pressing the ball. So that is why we're on 7 depth. Offensive style is on fast build-up. Now, fast build-up is a really great way to counter-attack on this game. I'll quickly read it for you. It says the tactic pushes players forward for a fast build-up, but if you lose possession of the ball, you can find yourself open to a counter-attack. Now, obviously, just like the constant pressure, it will drag your players out of positions because they're all just trying to get up to the pitch and find spaces on the pitch. But it is a really great way to get forward, and I think it is a genuine, really strong way on scoring goals on this game. Now, some people aren't a fan of 4-2-2, but some people aren't a fan of fast build-up and 4-2-2 because there's no cam in the middle. But I genuinely find because I'm using fast build-up, there usually is someone covering that mid-space, so it still works. Trust me, don't worry. Now, the width is on 3. Now, this is something that people have questioned me about. Now, I use this for 2 reasons. One of them is to try and counter the 5-3-2, who have the 2 wide centre mids. So having those wider cams tuck in slightly just helps get closer to those wide centre mids and win the ball back. And also, I like the narrower width because it just gives more passing options. It makes it easier to pass the ball from player to player, and you can get those quick 1-2s going, the quick passing triangles. So that is why I'm a big fan of the 4-2-2 with a 3 attacking width. I do use this for all of my tactic sets because it works. Like I said, I don't change the width because it works. All right, boys. Now the plans in the box is on 8. Now this is purely because we're going all out attack to trying to score goals. Obviously I don't go 9 or 10 because I do still want one person on the edge of the box so I can help reset the play and rebuild the attack if the opponent that I'm playing against defends well. If you put too many people in the box, there's no one in midfield, and if your initial attack doesn't work, you're done. So that's why I never say to people, I usually wouldn't even go for 8. Usually I go for 7, but 8 is what I kind of like with the 4-2-2. So it's up to you guys, but yeah. So corners is on 3. Obviously, I don't have it any higher than that because I want to be protected on the counter-attack still. As much as we're trying to score goals, we are not trying to concede anymore. We want to still be in the game, so I always try and protect the counter-attack. And the free kicks is on 1 because I'm usually just shooting. There's no point in having more than one person. All right, boys. So, obviously, like I said, this is how the team is set out. So what I'll do, I'll show you guys the tactics that I'm using. So there is something that I have been messing around with a bit more, and I do actually think it works. Now, that is messing around with the interceptions, all right? So I'll get more into that as we go through the video. But so I have both of the strikers. I'm getting behind them. That's purely to abuse the assisted through balls and make sure they're making those attacking runs and keeping the defenders on their toes. Obviously, assisted through balls are really overpowered this year. You can basically play an Iniesta light ball with anyone on the game. So yeah, very, very strong. So you should definitely be using them. Obviously, I have both strikers on stay forward just to stay up the pitch and try and score goals. Pretty self-explanatory, really. And then I have both of them on aggressive interceptions. Now, I think aggressive interceptions actually does work well with the team press, just so they take more risks and try and win the ball back. At the end of the day, this formation is basically, this tactic set, sorry, is about just risk. We're just going for it. We're putting everything on the table to try and win the ball back. And I do think aggressive interceptions works for that. So I've got that on both of my strikers. It's worked well for me so far, but if you guys obviously don't like it, then you're more than welcome to put them back on balanced. Now, I have my wide cams. Both of them are on stay forward, obviously to try and be attacking and score goals. And then they are both on getting to the box across. Now, this is for the RBX crosses or the R1 square crosses. If you haven't used them, it's basically a very powerful curved lower like mid-range cross, very overpowered. They basically like lock on missiles. They just fly to your opponent, like to your player's foot, and it's pretty easy to score goals with. So that is why I've got them on. That's why I use getting to the box across, just to use those crosses. And then again, I have aggressive interceptions just so they take some more risks and try and win the ball back as high up the pitch. So I have that on both. I don't know why that one's on come back on defence. That's an accident. So yeah, so both of them are on stay forward, getting to the box across, and aggressive interceptions. Now, in my 2 DM setup, I usually have 2 DMs, one more attacking and one more defensive. So we have the more attacking one, which would be Rude Hullet. So he's on get forward to try and help the attack, and it also helps cover that mid patch, like I said, to counter the 5-3-2. Obviously, if they have those 3 wide centre mids, Hullet getting forward and just blocking up that space a bit more allows you to basically try and counter the 5-3-2 as well. So it works both ways. And then obviously I've got them on cover centre because I have the wide cams and the fullback, so there's no need to mark the wide space. And then you have your more defensive DM. Now obviously because this is ultra attacking, I don't have them on stay back, I just have them on balanced. But this is my more defensive DM, so that is my João Cancelo, and then I also have him on cover centre. I do not put these 2 on aggressive interceptions, and now that is purely based on the fact that I don't want the whole middle of my team to push into areas that are going to leave me vulnerable. But maybe it'll work for you. You guys can give it a go and let me know. I have both the fullbacks on balanced attacking runs, so just so they get forward a little bit. And then I have aggressive interceptions. Now this is usually because a lot of the time when someone's facing team press, they pass it out into the wide areas to help beat the press. So that is why I'm using aggressive interception. So the fullbacks would just be a bit more aggressive and try and win those ball back and just take a few more risks, because why not? And then both of the fullbacks are just on stay back while attacking. So pretty standard stuff. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to the attacking tactic. Now this would be if you're drawing a game and you're trying to win the ball back. But like, say someone's playing a bit more of a possession style, or you just think you're the better player and you think if you impose yourself more on the game, you can win the game. This is what I would be using. So press after possession loss is good. It allows you to press, but also if you don't win the ball back in those first 7 seconds, your team goes back into their original shape and doesn't leave you too vulnerable. So it's a good balance between pressing but also being careful. Obviously it does drain stamina and drag your players out of position whilst you're pressing, but that's the risk you're taking trying to win the ball back, so you just have to accept that. Like I said, the width is on 5 because that's what I'm most comfortable with. I'm not going to keep going through it. Now 4 depth is what I'm most comfortable with the 4-2-2. Obviously you're welcome to change it if you find you're more welcome, like you suit something different. But forward depth is what works for me. So like I said, I won't go through this much again either, because this is what I use for all of them, bar the ultra defensive one, which I'll talk about that. But so yeah, so forward depth is what I find most comfortable, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, boys. Like I said before, fast build up's a great way to counter attack and get up the pitch. So if you're trying to be more aggressive and trying to get up the pitch quickly to score goals, fast build up is the one for you. Not going to over explain it because we've already spoke about it. Now the width is on 3. Like I explained before, not going to keep going over the width, but I like the players being narrow, offers options, and it helps you counter the 5-3-2. And then the players in the box is on 6, so we're bringing it down from 8 to 6. Now that is purely because we don't want to be as aggressive. We want to have a few more reset options in case the attack doesn't work, but we still want bodies in the box to try and score goals. So that is why 6 for me is a good balance with this formation. Corners is down to 2 instead of 1. Genuinely, I find I just grab one player and make a run and try and score a header with them. So I don't need a lot of bodies in the box because I'm just trying to protect myself on the counter attack. I don't want to concede goals. As much as we're pressing the ball, we still don't want to concede. And then the free kicks is on 1 still because we're just shooting, boys. So now both of the strikers are on getting behind, obviously to abuse the assisted through balls, as I said, and just keep the defenders on their toes, keep the defenders guessing. So that's why we've got them on getting behind. And then we still have aggressive interceptions on the 2 strikers, because why not press from the front and try and win the ball back? So there's no harm in putting them on aggressive interceptions, in my opinion. So we have the cams. So we just, like I said, we've taken stay forward off the 2 strikers, and we've taken it off the cams as well, because we don't want them overcommitting too much and still being defensive. So they are on basic defensive support. Getting to the box with cross is still on, because we still love the R1 squares or the RBX crosses. And we have aggressive interceptions on them as well, because like I said, there's no harm in being aggressive and trying to press the ball high up the pitch, especially if we're playing a pressing tactic anyway. Now so now I've got my more attacking centre mid, or CDM, sorry. Now I have him on balance instead of get full. Now this is just because we're being slightly less aggressive, so we can bring him back a bit more, to not overcommit too much. So we've got him on balanced and cover centre, just to obviously defend the centre of the pitch, because like I said, there's no point. We have the wide cams and the fullbacks to defend the wide areas. And then we have our more defensive CDM, and he's on stay back while attacking and cover wing. It should be cover centre. Now he's on stay back while attacking purely for the fact that we just need someone to help defend when we make that press, because they will beat the press. It's not you're not guaranteed to win the ball back every time, so you still need to have precautions in place in case you don't win the ball. And then we have both fullbacks on stay back while attacking, and that is it. So pretty standard instructions, ones that I really like, but just with more the addition of the aggressive interceptions. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get onto the defensive tactics. Now, like I said, these are the ones that I would use at the start of the game to figure out how my opponent's playing. This is usually when I play these formations, I usually have a bit more of a standard setup, so I can figure out how my opponent's playing and adjust accordingly to that. So I have my defensive style on balance. Now, like I said, we're playing for balance, we're playing for structure. We're just trying to be safe and try and figure out how our opponent's playing, while still trying to impose ourselves on the game and score goals. So balance is a good one for me. The 5 width, like I said, is what I'm comfortable with. It doesn't change. Same with the depth. What I'm comfortable with, it doesn't change, but you're welcome to change them if you want to. The offensive style is on balanced. Obviously, like I said, I'm just trying to hold defensive structure. I'm not trying to press too much and pull my players out at different positions. I'm just trying to figure out how my opponent's playing. So using balanced, you don't overcommit, but you also go forward enough that you're still viable going forward. Like I said, the width doesn't change. We're still on 3. Attacking width is a really strong width for me. Players in the box is still on 6. Just because I think it's the best for the 4-2-2. You have a lot of attacking options, but you also have a lot of reset options in case your attack breaks down. So, yeah, 6 is always ideal for me. Corners is on 2, and free kicks is on 1. So what we do, obviously these instructions will be near enough the same, but I'll go through them anyway. So both of our strikers are still on getting behind to abuse the through balls, but we have been putting back to normal interception instead of aggressive, just because we're trying to be a bit less aggressive and just try and be a bit more balanced. So that's why we're on normal instead of aggressive interceptions. Both of the wide cams are still on getting to the box with crosses to abuse the R1 squares or the RBX crosses, but like I said, again, we've removed the aggressive interceptions just to be a bit more calm and try and figure out how our opponent's playing. We still have the 1 CDM on stay back cover centre, and then we have our other DM still on balanced cover centre as well, so a bit more attacking one, and then we still have our fullbacks on stay back while attacking. So like I said, it's still pretty similar to the attacking ones, just slightly less aggressive, just bringing it back a little bit, trying to figure out how our opponent plays. So the last one, ultra defensive. Now this is if we're trying to hold a lead, last couple minutes of the game. So these are the tactics I would use with the 4-2-2 if that is what you're trying to achieve. So the defensive style is on drop back. Obviously drop back is a really great way to defend your goal in this game. It gets everyone back. It will preserve team shape, and your players in general will just hold possession more. So it just depends what you want from it, but drop back works really, really well for me. The width is still the same, 5 width. Like I said, I never change it because there's no point. The depth now is on 2. That is just because we're trying to have more of a bigger defensive unit at the back. So that is why everyone is back defending instead of pushing up the pitch a bit more. So we've got 2 depth for the defence and everyone else pushing back accordingly. Now, offensive style long ball is a tactic that I've loved on this game for the whole duration of FIFA 21. If you've watched these videos before, you've heard me speak about it before. It's a really great way to sit back and then basically counter-attack if you have players who are quick and have high attacking positioning. They work really well then. They make really, really strong runs. And it's basically it just makes them trigger runs in behind when you get the ball back and you're ready to counter. So it's literally just an easier and a bit more of a long, like I said, a long ball tactic, like a West Ham tactic, beat the ball at the other end of the pitch. So now what we'll do is the width. So we are going on 3 width as per, because like I said, we're just trying to be a bit more defensive. The only time I would maybe change it, maybe go to 4 just to help defend those wider options if your opponent's playing a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2 or anything wide. Maybe 4 width is good. I use 3 just as a standard because most people are running the 5-3-2 or the 4-1-2-1-2 or just some more narrow formations, but you can go a bit wider if you think it will help you defend those wider formations. Now players in the box is on 2 just because we're not trying to get people forward. Maybe I would go to 3 just to help get both strikers in the box and make runs for the long ball tactic, but I'm trying to be super defensive, so I've got it on 2 at the moment. And then corners and free kicks are both on 1 to help defend and just get everyone back and protect us on the counter attack. Now what we'll do, we'll quickly go through the instructions. So like I've got my strikers on getting behind still to abuse the long ball tactic, but that is pretty much it. I've got them on come back on defence to help defend, and then I've got them on conservative interceptions because I don't want them lunging out and making any stupid tackles or stupid auto lunges. I'd rather them sit back and defend as a unit and just sit back and not do anything stupid. I have both of the wide cams on comeback on defence to help defend and conservative interceptions. Again, like I said, I just don't want them lunging in and trying to do anything they don't need to do. Just sit back and be careful and relax. So that is what I've got both of them doing. I have both of my DMs on stable on attack and cover centre just to help defend, and then again I have them both on conservative interceptions because I don't want them to press. I just want them to sit and wait, basically. And then I have both fullbacks on stable while attacking and conservative again because I don't want them pushing up and leaving spaces that they don't need to leave. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a sub on the channel, and if you want more videos like this, let us know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Alright boys, peace.